If the last couple of years have taught us anything, is that when the world goes haywire because of a pandemic, we don't like being cooped up. And even if you drive 20 miles from your own house and you set up your little camp, it still feels like pure escapism and it feels special. This whole van life, hashtag van life thing, has exploded in popularity. And it's mostly due to these things, the Volkswagen California. And this, I'm stood here on top of a lovely mountain in Spain, this is the all-new VW California, no longer based on a commercial vehicle. This is based upon the Multivan and is available as a plug-in hybrid and is bigger and more efficient than ever before. So in this video, I'm going to take you on a tour of the Volkswagen California. You're watching The Late Break Show. I'm Jonny Smith. This episode is proudly supported by Driver Reviews, Europe's largest verified tyre reviews platform. So what is the Multivan? Well, the Multivan is not based, as I said in the intro, on a commercial vehicle like the T6.1, which is the latest T6 vehicle. I've just been in a T6.1 California all of last week, as it happens, so it's quite fresh in my mind. But it still drives like a van, albeit a very advanced van. This is not a van, this is a car. I forget what platform the Multivan is based upon, but it's very much a car. I have actually reviewed the plug-in hybrid people carrier version of this on the Late Break Show, and I thought it was fantastic. And that means that this will be available as a plug-in hybrid. It'll do at least 30 miles on EV only, and it has a 1.4 petrol engine. But you can buy it as a straight diesel 2-litre TDI, and you can buy it as a straight petrol if you wanted to. But the plug-in hybrid version of this will now be available as four-wheel drive, not two-wheel drive that we currently have. So, as with other Californias, you've got an awning, and the awning on the Multivan California is on one side, but you can actually, I've been told, you can option it to be on either side if you wanted. Better than that is on the other side that it's not on. It still has this rail system, so you can actually find an aftermarket, some kind of awning cover, and put it on the other side. So you've got options where both doors open. You can have coverings if you wanted. So that's really neat. So in order to allow a whole walk-through system on the new Cali, there's a gap here, obviously, where the kitchen on the original T6.1 that's in production right now goes all the way up. So this now, instead of having a fridge over there that you reach in from the top, this has a fridge like the Grand California, which you might be familiar with, which is based upon the VW Crafter. This has a fridge that you pull out and you can stack, and that's great because you can just open the door like this and fill the fridge immediately. From there, you can also grab stuff while you're outside, maybe having a barbecue or something like that. And talking of like cooking or eating and prepping outside, so this has two tables, one large one and one small one. This is the small one. You extend like so, and you can eat outside, you can do food prep outside, whatever you want to do. Or you can slide this straight off, and this can go over here, like that. So you can have it there for, again, food prep to extend the kitchen area, should you want to, but it'll also go around this side, like the original T6 California bigger table on this side. Or if that's not big enough for you, there's this table. The Multivan doesn't come in different wheelbases, but it does come in two different overall lengths. The California version is only based on the longer length van, which is a good thing. But obviously, what's cool for me is fuel goes in one side. This particular one is a diesel, but I'm most interested in the plug-in hybrid one because having driven it in the Multivan form, it was so good. But it means when you're parked up at a campsite, obviously You can put the electrical hookup in if you want to and run the van off the mains. But you can also charge that hybrid battery on the other side while you're at an electrical hookup for a few days. So you can top that EV battery up, which I really, really like. And if you haven't got access to that, the onboard battery system can be charged with the car's engine if you needed it to. And they say it will run for a long weekend, like the fridge. Obviously the heating system runs off the fuel, all the lights are LED, so the whole thing will run for a long weekend off-grid. It's all a bit confusing because I've only just been told this stuff. So the California Beach Tour Edition sleeps 4 and seats 4 or 5. The California Beach Camper seats 4 or 5, but it has the fixed kitchen all down this side, okay? And again, that's 4 or 5. So the coast and the ocean versions all have kitchens on the side there, right? But the beach versions don't have the kitchen. Are you following me? What it basically means is you've got loads of different options. But the other thing to bear in mind is campers of this size are really versatile. Yes, they're bijou, but I mean, I went away with my kids for the weekend and had a really amazing time. I slept down there, they slept up there. We all had a good amount of space. And when this isn't a camper, it's no bigger than most family cars these days. So it doesn't take up any bigger car parking space than a family SUV. And I think that's really important because you can use this as a normal family car when it's not doing all the van life shizzle. I really like the Multivan design. I think it looks way better than the T6. It's just more sleek. And that little rear spoiler there, you can still fit a bike rack on the back, of course, which is what most people will do, either with the tow bar or on the tailgate. And that California script is new. But anyway, I'm not going to sit around. I've got things to show you. There's a purpose to this. The big old tailgate, which is synonymous with all the other transporters and stuff, and a secret bag. And that secret bag reveals this. So this is one of 2 chairs which fits in the back, but these have been evolved from the previous chairs. Apparently they've got higher backrest, so they're a little bit more comfortable, and the mechanism is just a bit more supportive. Whenever you do these things on camera, they always go wrong. Is that it? That's it. This is a pre-production model. Now I really like that. I've always liked that. I think it's a neat touch because it means you never forget to take your chairs with you when you go camping. But also, while I'm under here, you've got 2 courtesy lights, but they're dimmable. You can dim them, which is really good. And of course, there's a blind here on the tailgate so that obviously when you're sleeping in the back, you can use your blind. But also, there's a power output, not power, water output. That's where your water gets put into. And this here is where you attach your shower, because you can actually have an alfresco shower if you wanted. There is nowhere to hook it and there is no enclosure, so you've got to hope that you have a shower in a discreet location. It's fairly discreet. A couple of easy jets have gone over. Nothing to see. So you've got that there. The freshwater tank has slightly been increased in capacity. I think it's 28 litres now. And the wastewater tank, because it does have its own wastewater, is slightly shrunk in capacity. And that's feedback that VW have taken from lots of existing California owners. Oh, as usual under here, an awful lot of storage. And because the seats are on rails, obviously they can adjust. So that's where you put the majority of your big bags, here and here, when you're traveling. But here, can you see this? Remember I talked about a bigger dining table? Well, this is your bigger dining table, which can be used either inside or outside. I will now demonstrate. Now, a table. I will now demonstrate what it's like inside the California. This is a prototype. It has 5 legs. The production one will have 4, but to use the main dining table inside, you only need 3 legs. because then it goes in here. It latches on to this rail there, here. Then you can adjust it. Obviously, both of these revolve around like that one there. And that is your sort of full-size dining table, and that can come and go at will. It really depends on how many people are doing what at what time. And obviously above my head you've got the pop top, which I've pushed away from me. This is the same. This is the same as the T6 California, apart from the colour of the interior fabric. There's 3 colours you can choose from on the outside, brown, blue and grey, but the inside are all sort of this off-white colour, and that's to make it feel bigger than it really is. It is big up there though, and my kids bloody love it up there. The whole California, like before, has these lovely aluminium lightweight, the sort of plastic and aluminium combination cupboards, so they're strong but light. Cupboard there as normal, cupboard in there as normal, and a cupboard over there, which I'll show you more of when I'm inside. But then on this side, on the new Multivan, this is a bit like the Caddy California, the little micro camper, which I did a review on. So it acts as a window blind, but it's also a bag. It's a bag that you can remove and fill up and compartmentalise. So you can almost put pants, socks, stuff like that in. It's like an organiser and a blind in one, whereas all the other windows, like this, have got the usual neat little clip-on blinds. Very similar to the T6, the gas bottle, same size, 2.5 kilo, that lives down in that little locker there, and optional tow bar. Yeah. Beds, all important part of the camper van. So the location of the 2 beds in the California is the same, but the design of this one down here is different. This now has a full hard back on the mattress, whereas before it didn't, and that means that it doesn't need the full width of seats to suspend it. I'll explain more. I'll show it to you when I set it up inside. Follow me. Right, close the door. Soft close, really important when you're trying to sneak in and out of a camper van for a wee in the middle of the night, I've found. This whole thing is definitely an evolution, not a revolution of the T6.1 California. But some of the things they've tweaked. Right, here, this cabinet below the hob and sink area. Bit of storage down there, 2 main sockets. One of them works off an inverter off the van. The other one works when you're hooked up to mains at a campsite. And there's a USB-C. In fact, there's numerous USB-Cs about it. And a soft close cutlery drawer, which is neat. Gas obviously operates your little cooker. What's different here? Well, there's only 1 hob. The T6 has 2 hobs, but the feedback from lots of customers, according to Volkswagen, was that most people only use 1 hob, and that allowed them to make the kitchen a little bit shallower to do the whole double sliding door thing. So that's why that's there. And this, just like last time, is the miniature sink right there. This bit here, I was wondering, what's this about here? There's a little recess and a plinth. It seems a bit of a waste of space, but it's not, because you need this to fold that bed down. Let me demonstrate. So in order to make the bed, like I said, you don't need both of these seats, because unlike the T6, these are completely independent seats. So I can get rid of this one completely. You can either not travel with it at all, but I'll demonstrate now. Because they've got integral belts and everything, that's the joy of the Multivan seat. You can just get rid of them, and they're not that heavy. 24 kilos. Don't need that, not for this. Seat all the way forward. Move the carpet out like I have. Headrest, I've already taken it out and moved it round the other way and put it back on. Then you pull this cable, this loop. That goes all the way flat then. That creates your plinth. This backboard here, look, folds all the way out, just like that. So it's supported all along this ridge here, and this is the same size bed as in the T6. And this is a really good size bed for 1 person. And VW say this mattress is better than the outgoing T6 California. For 2 people, well, yeah, it's fine as long as you really like one another. Now, the new California's got all kinds of different lighting options with physical buttons over there. You can double tap on any of these lights and it kills all the lights in the van, which is really good when you're camping at night and you don't have to go around systematically switching it all off. But another new feature is this. It looks like an iPhone. But this is a control panel for people at the back, or if you're lying in bed like this. And actually, to that end, I slept with my head at this end in the T6 recently, but you can obviously sleep with your head at that end. And if you do, there's a USB-C here now for charging your phone and whatever, if you want to back there. But this gives you a heads up on the, obviously the battery status and the water status. You can control the lights from here if you want, but there's an amazing amount of ribbon lighting down here and up there. So I like all of this. I believe you can also control the pop top using an app. So now there's something called the VW California Tour app or something like that. And it means you can control loads of stuff via your app. So you can stand outside and raise the roof using that rather than the dash buttons. There are physical dash buttons now for the pop top activation. It's not above the head like it used to be. I'll show you that in a sec. So climate, you can control the climate, the cool box, all these things. And obviously the heating for the van, just like the previous ones, if it's diesel, it has a diesel heater. If it's petrol, it has a little petrol heater that warms the cabin for you. As you can see, the passenger side is already swiveled round to the captain's chair position. And you can do that by pulling the cord, swiveling it round, and you're saying to me, well, you can do that with the T6 California, Johnny. Why is it any different? Well, it is different because it's improved. Because the T6 has a traditional handbrake on the floor and you have to drop it because it fouls it when you swivel it around. It's really annoying. Well, in the first time ever, I'm really pleased to see an electric handbrake because that's what the Multivan's got, which means you don't have that problem swiveling it around easily. And on the left-hand drive cars like this for foreign markets, on the T6, your knees were constantly hitting the kitchen. But on this version with the relocated kitchen, you don't have that problem. So, you know, evolution, not revolution. Under each seat, bit more storage. The dash of the Multivan California is more akin, I think, to the Buzz than the T6. If you haven't watched my Multivan video of the MPV version that I did a couple of years ago, I would recommend you watch that because this is kind of the same. All Multivans are automatic. The plug-in hybrid, the PHEV version, is 6-speed DSG, and the diesel and the petrol, the straight diesel and petrol, are 7-speed DSG. What I like about the plug-in is that now they're saying this new generation of plug-in is not going to be front-wheel drive, it's going to be all-wheel drive because the motor is going to drive the back axle, and then the little petrol engine, 1.4 petrol, is going to be driving the front wheels. And I found it to be really efficient and also fantastic to drive. What I would say, and I've noticed this as I've been looking around, is that the plastics on the Multivan, they're just not quite as Volkswagen as I'd like. And this is not just a Multivan thing, this is generally across the board for Volkswagen. The soft furnishings are lovely. The soft stuff's lovely, the upholstery and the fabrics, but the plastics are just not quite, you know, for the money you're paying, I just feel like they're not quite as good. This also does have the modern VW infotainment system with the slide for the temperature and stuff like that. We've talked about this extensively. It's come under huge criticism. It has been improved slightly, but it's still just not great. But you do have physical buttons here and here to raise and drop that roof. And that used to be in a panel up here on the T6. It's now here, in there, on an app, and on that little sort of iPhone thing set into the pillar that I showed you before. The California's wheels are the same choices that you get on the current MPV Multivan. I don't really love any of them. I actually think that a selection of wheels like the outgoing Beetle were really good, where you could choose from a sort of retro-y one or a steely. Even a bog standard Transporter steel looks a little bit cooler, I think, but that's just what I think. This particular one is running on 19-inch wheels, but you can scale it down to entry-level 16s. And when it comes to needing new tyres for your camper, SUV, van, city car, electric car, whatever it might be, buying tyres can be quite confusing, and it pays dividends to get real-world feedback from real people. With tyres being so critical for your safety on the road, Driver Reviews helps you make the right choice for your vehicle and your budget. Head to their website to find out more. Driver Reviews can help reduce the stress of finding new tyres for your car. Partnering with many of the largest tyre retailers in the world, Driver Reviews brings you thousands of verified and unbiased tyre reviews covering all of the leading brands. So when you're searching for new tyres, look out for the Driver Reviews logo to give you peace of mind that the reviews come from real customers just like you. To discover your local Driver Reviews partner website and to find out the winning tyres of this year's Customer Choice Awards, visit driverreviews.com. As I said before, this pop-top design is pretty much identical with one exception. This is now a hard little trapdoor separator, whereas before it was like a roller shutter and it always stuck and it wasn't very good. So VW say that is an improvement on the original. Still got your own ambient lighting, cigarette lighter output, and also a USB-C up here. And of course you can unzip all of these just like before, both sides and front. This is the main bed up here. That one there is definitely a smaller bed. But I've slept in both of them over the years on the T6s and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It even has a proper little sort of sprung system up here. My kids absolutely love it up here. They make their own little den. And of course, when it comes back down, it's actually quite shallow on the roof, so it's quite aerodynamic. Having a powered roof is an option. Standard is just a push up yourself, I believe. The concept of the Multivan California was almost identical. I'm pretty sure that the white colour was in here as well. And that's about it. But this is, you know, it's a sleeker design than the T6, I think. I think it's a better looking van. More rake on the windscreen, that California little moniker there on the A-pillar. What do you think? Let me know if you think this is a better looking van than the T6.1, the current California. The other thing I'd like you to put in the comments below is, do you think that I should review more camper and motorhomes on the Late Break Show? It's something I have been considering doing. I welcome your feedback on that. There's two ways of differentiating the lower ranking models of the California like this Beach. One, it doesn't have the full width eyebrow light on the front. And this is the fundamental one. There is no kitchen in here that's fixed. Instead, it's more MPV than anything else. Still got the pop-up roof, and it still actually has the bed, but all the kitchen is at the back. So all on a rail system, like so. You got your hob, like that. Like a filing cabinet kitchen, basically. In fact, this is identical. There you go, some cutlery drawers and crockery drawers. If you've seen the Caddy California, the micro camper, I did a review on one. This is identical. I'd recommend you watch that. I'll put a link on screen somewhere for that. Again, it has a table back there. It has 240 volt outputs just here. And if you remember those bags that act as blinds and organisers, you've got a pair of them now as opposed to just one. Same pop top, same two berth up there, same bed down here, but you just got 5 seats and no fixed kitchen along one side of the body. You know, I am a bit of a sucker for the whole van life thing. I've realised how exciting it is to just go away and have a little snuggly den. You don't even have to go that far away from home. It's wholesome, it's simple, especially if you've got a family. It's just good fun. But the thing about cars this size, like the California, is they double as family cars. So although they're expensive, you can use them for everything. They're just really useful. Motorhomes are a bit too big for a lot of stuff, 365 days of the year. Now, of course, the Cali is an expensive thing. It's the OG. You know, even the base model is over 60 grand and the full fat one is like 70 something. But there's something really cool about having one that's fit from the factory, all warranted, all nice. I just wish VW had come up with some better wheels and some nicer hard plastics and some maybe more interesting soft furnishing designs. What do you think? Now, there's a school of thought here. Do you go for something like this now, or do you wait for probably 2 years for the ID Buzz California? I'm going to say that I think the plug-in hybrid, having driven the People Carrier plug-in hybrid, I think that's probably the best of all the worlds. This plug-in hybrid, 4-wheel drive, over 30 miles EV only, and a footprint that's no bigger than most people have their SUVs that they take to school every day and take to work every day. Let me know what you think. And if you haven't already subscribed to The Late Break Show, I'd love you to subscribe. Oh, and if you want to support us via Patreon, you get to watch videos like this early and you get blogs from yours truly on a weekly basis.